Picture a YouTube channel.
Hmm.
It only has 12 videos. Just 12.
Wow, that's nothing.
Right. Yet those 12 videos have pulled in roughly 14 million views.
That is insane.
And they are bringing in an estimated $61,000 a month. Beat. But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
If you actually sit down and watch them, they look terrible. Like, they look like they were drawn by a beginner
Oh, absolutely.
using MS Paint.
It completely breaks the rules. Everything we think we know about high production value is just entirely gone.
Welcome to the deep dive. I'm glad you're here with us. Today, we're unpacking something incredibly fascinating.
Yeah, it's a wild one.
It really is. It's called the Claude Code YouTube Automation Blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking at a deeply counterintuitive system, one that takes intentionally bad visuals, pairs them with a clever AI workflow, and creates a viral attention machine.
Exactly.
This system fundamentally removes the slowest, most tedious parts of video production, and we are going to explore exactly how it works.
And we should probably clarify right up front.
Sure.
The real secret we're looking at isn't just the AI itself. It's actually human psychology. The tech is basically just the lever.
Right. Let's start exactly there. Before we look at the mechanical gears of the automated machine itself, we really need to understand the underlying why. Like, why does this extremely crude format hold a viewer's attention so much better than polished CGI?
Well, it really comes down to cognitive load.
Mm.
I mean, a lot of people think the massive view counts just magically come from the AI.
Right, like the AI just prints views.
Exactly. But they don't. The views come from raw attention. And that rough, hand-drawn style effectively removes all the visual noise.
It strips away all the unnecessary details that the brain usually has to process.
Yeah. Let's look at the source material's specific examples. Imagine you were telling a story about early human history.
Okay.
A caveman finally discovers fire. This video simply shows a basic stick figure. It's standing next to a small, jagged, bright orange fire. Or, an alien spaceship lands on Earth. You just see a basic, wobbly UFO resting on a plain white background.
So the brain grasps the core concept instantly. There is virtually zero friction.
Yes. Compare that to the standard AI-generated videos we see flooding the internet today.
The hyper-realistic ones.
Right. They're usually highly polished. They use dramatic, moody, cinematic lighting. They feature perfect characters.
But after watching a dozen of them, they all just start to look exactly the same.
They really do. They lose their emotional impact entirely because they feel so heavily manufactured.
I see what you mean.
But these intentionally bad drawings act as a massive pattern interrupt.
Yeah.
They feel delightfully raw.
They feel deeply human.
And honestly, they're kind of hilarious. Plus, the pacing of these videos is absolutely relentless. The screen visibly changes every 2 to 3 seconds.
That rapid changing is crucial. The brain constantly needs a new visual stimulus.
Exactly. A completely still screen gets boring incredibly fast. Doesn't matter how beautiful the art is. But even simple, crude MS Paint drawings feel highly active if the video just keeps moving. The viewer's brain remains constantly engaged.
It's like reading a comic strip. Your brain does the heavy lifting to fill in the gaps, which actually makes you more engaged than watching a hyper-realistic movie.
You become an active participant in the story.
You really do, and it's wildly effective.
But let me ask you this. Why does our brain prefer these crude sketches over perfect 4K renders?
Because raw sketches remove friction. Viewers grasp the idea instantly.
So less visual noise means faster processing and better story focus.
Exactly. The visual just gets completely out of the way.
Okay, so the visual noise is completely gone. The cognitive friction is removed.
Yeah.
But bare-bones stick figures definitely cannot hold someone's attention for 10 minutes completely on their own.
Definitely not.
If the visuals are carrying zero emotional weight, that heavy lifting has to shift somewhere else.
It shifts entirely to the script, and it relies heavily on the human voice. The crude visuals merely serve to anchor the attention.
This format only works if you have inherently fascinating stories to tell. We are talking about primitive human survival, deep space exploration.
Bizarre historical events, strange alien encounters.
Exactly. Stories that possess massive natural curiosity gaps built right in.
And the script requires a very specific, tight formula to pull this off, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It needs a massive, compelling hook right away. For instance, you would never start a video by simply stating early humans lived very hard lives.
Yeah, that is a terrible hook. It feels exactly like a boring high school history textbook.
Right. Instead, you say something visceral. Like, imagine waking up at 2 a.m. inside a freezing, pitch-dark cave.
I like
The
that.
source material is very explicit about this strategy. You have to firmly ground the story immediately. You need simple, vivid, highly physical scenes.
You know, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself when writing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask the AI for a simple, grounded story, and it slowly wanders off into these dense, philosophical paragraphs.
It always does that.
Right. But a rigid, structured script keeps the AI grounded in the actual physical scene.
That is the big trap so many solo creators fall into.
Yeah.
You cannot just ask AI for a generic script and expect it to perform well.
You have to prompt it fiercely.
You demand extremely short paragraphs, very fast pacing, absolutely no abstract concepts whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
If you use AI to draft it, you must heavily edit it yourself.
But wait, if we use AI to write the script, aren't we just creating the exact same generic noise we're trying to avoid?
You are, unless you inject it with a deeply human perspective. It
Mhm.
desperately needs that distinct human flavor.
Right.
And that human element extends heavily to the voiceover recording. The source actually issues a massive explicit warning here.
What's the warning?
Relying on generic AI voices is incredibly risky for a channel's long-term health.
Because YouTube heavily favors original human-feeling content when approving monetization.
Exactly. If your entire channel sounds like a monotone robot reading a Wikipedia page,
Yeah.
you will eventually fail.
The platform's algorithm will flag you as low-effort content.
Yeah. The source highly recommends recording your own personal voice or hiring a professional human narrator on a site like Fiverr.
The voice alone carries the emotional weight.
It sets the subtle tension for the stick figures.
It needs to sound like someone telling a captivating ghost story around a campfire. It shouldn't sound like someone rigidly reading an instruction manual. Beat. How do you stop the story from sounding like a robot wrote it?
You have to focus heavily on concrete scenes, emotions, and specific action.
Right. Ground the script in physical actions, not abstract thought.
Exactly. That is the only way the delicate illusion holds up.
So we have a compelling, deeply human story now. We have a highly expressive voiceover. But drawing and syncing hundreds of images by hand is totally exhausting. How do we automate that incredibly tedious process?
Enter the transcription map. This is step 3 of the entire workflow.
Okay.
And honestly, this is where the system gets genuinely brilliant.
Wow.
You take your final, recorded, human voiceover audio, then you run it directly through a transcription tool. The source specifically mentions using a tool called TurboScribe.
Wait, so I'm just getting a basic text file of the script I already wrote. How does that actually help the visual side of the production?
Because it's not just the basic text. You are getting the exact, highly specific timestamps.
Oh, the timestamps.
Yeah, those tiny timestamps are absolutely everything. They become a literal second-by-second map for the AI to strictly follow.
Oh, I see. So the file explicitly says 0 seconds, then 3 seconds, then 7 seconds.
Exactly. You see exactly when every single sentence is spoken. Now you move to your actual automation setup. You use Claude Code as your central automation workspace. And you securely connect it to an image generation tool called Higgsfield.
Now, the source mentioned needing a CLI or MCP set up to do this.
Right.
That sounds highly intimidating. Can you demystify that for us?
Text-based ways to connect different software tools together.
Ah, okay. So it essentially just lets them talk to each other directly without you manually moving files around.
Yes. It's just a simple, one-time copy and paste setup inside your computer's terminal.
Got it.
Once they are securely linked together, the real automation magic finally happens.
Okay.
Claude Code meticulously reads your master prompt. It reads your newly timestamped script, and it automatically commands Higgsfield to generate the corresponding images.
2-sec silence. Whoa, imagine scaling to 1 billion queries. You could map out hundreds of video timestamps in seconds.
It's wild. It completely replaces countless hours of brutal manual labor.
That is a massive, incredible force multiplier for a solo creator.
You don't have to endlessly search for the perfect stock footage anymore. You don't have to manually draw a single thing yourself.
The AI basically acts as your highly dedicated, lightning-fast storyboard artist.
Exactly.
But does the AI actually know what to draw at each specific second?
Yes, it reads the text at that exact timestamp and generates a matching visual.
It basically reads the script and storyboards the entire video automatically.
You give it the exact map, and it paints the territory for you perfectly.
But we know AI genuinely loves to show off its capabilities.
Oh, for sure.
The AI has this perfect temporal map now, but without incredibly strict rules, it's going to try to make the art look way too polished. How do we force it to make these intentionally bad drawings?
Well, this brings us to the crucial master prompt.
Yeah.
This is step 5 in the blueprint.
Okay.
You absolutely cannot rush this part. You have to lay down incredibly strict laws for the AI to follow.
What specific kind of laws are we talking about here?
Formatting rules, mostly. You firmly demand a 16:9 horizontal format.
Right.
You demand plain, stark white backgrounds. And most importantly, you aggressively demand a beginner MS Paint style.
You're literally forcing a brilliant supercomputer to draw exactly like a kindergartner.
You really are demanding it. You explicitly ban any 3D styles. You firmly ban Disney or Pixar styles. No anime whatsoever, no cinematic dramatic
Or
lighting.
highly realistic textures.
Right. You specifically ask for wobbly, highly imperfect hand-drawn lines, stick figures with perfectly round, simple heads, flat, extremely basic colors.
It actually takes immense effort to make an advanced AI heavily downgrade its visual output.
It really does. Because if your initial prompt is even slightly weak, the generated images will look completely random.
Like, one scene looks highly cinematic and the next scene looks super cartoony.
Exactly. And that completely ruins the delicate illusion. Absolute consistency is the ultimate goal here.
100 different images must clearly look like they were all drawn by the exact same amateur artist.
Right.
Okay, so the AI completely follows the rules. It generates this massive batch of bad drawings. How does this actually streamline the final edit?
This is the quiet trick of the entire system. It's easily the most brilliant part of the whole workflow.
I'm listening.
When Claude Code finally downloads that massive batch of images to your computer, it actually names the files based entirely on the timestamp.
Wait, so you aren't even looking at the image content itself?
Think about how you normally edit a complex video.
Okay.
You carefully drag a clip in, you listen closely to the audio, you pause, you trim, you adjust. It's totally exhausting.
Yeah, it takes hours.
But here, the image designated for the 7-second mark is literally named 0:07.png. That's the actual file name on your hard drive.
It's literally like stacking Lego blocks of data. You aren't actually editing, you're just assembling pieces.
Exactly. You simply open your editing software, say CapCut or Premiere. You drop in the master voiceover track. Then you just mechanically drag each uniquely named image right into the timeline.
Wow.
You drop the 0-second image, you stretch it precisely to the 7-second mark.
Great.
You seamlessly drop the 7-second image, you stretch it perfectly to the 15-second mark.
You never actually have to listen to the audio track to sync the individual scenes.
Never. The file folder itself tells you exactly how to edit the entire video from start to finish.
It brilliantly turns a massive, frustrating creative hurdle into a simple, highly mindless data entry task.
It really does.
How much time does renaming the files actually save in the edit?
It removes all the guesswork. You never have to re-listen to sync scenes.
The file name tells you exactly where it goes. No guessing.
It's an absolute game changer for solo production speed.
We're going to take a very quick break right here.
Sounds good.
Mid-roll sponsor read.
And we are back.
Okay, so we just walked through exactly how the system automates the most tedious, highly mechanical parts of video creation.
Yeah, it's a truly incredible engineering feat.
But we need to step back. We need a major reality check.
Yes, we definitely do. Because the real tangible advantage here is just speed. That is the only true advantage.
Unprecedented speed, not guaranteed virality.
Exactly. This system simply removes hours of desperately searching for perfect stock footage. It completely removes traditional agonizing animation time.
Right.
But speed absolutely does not mean guaranteed success on the platform. The source is very clear about the inherent massive risks.
That $61,000 a month figure is a wild estimate, and it's almost certainly an extreme outlier.
It definitely is. Going totally viral still heavily depends on core YouTube fundamentals.
The underlying topic absolutely must be genuinely interesting.
The title must aggressively compel someone to click. The thumbnail has to immediately stand out in a highly crowded feed.
If the underlying video is boring, adding bad drawings won't magically save it.
They'll just be terrible amateur drawings plastered over a highly boring video. Your viewer retention will flatline almost immediately.
Makes sense.
And then there is the very real looming monetization issue.
Right, because YouTube is actively, aggressively cracking down on automated content right now.
If your content feels lazy, low effort, or overly mass-produced, the algorithm will definitely notice.
It will definitely punish you.
If you use those highly generic AI voices and mildly tweaked, copied scripts, you're going to massively struggle to get monetized.
YouTube fundamentally wants highly original content.
They desperately want videos that feel genuinely useful or wildly entertaining to actual human beings.
Mass-produced, lazy garbage gets heavily filtered out no matter how fast you can render it.
Right. And that is exactly why the human voiceover is so absolutely critical to this entire blueprint.
And the original deep storytelling.
You absolutely cannot just copy another successful channel's scripts and expect to replicate their massive numbers.
I want to push back on this whole premise, actually.
Okay, go for it.
If the real value of this system is just testing different topics incredibly quickly, aren't we essentially admitting that the bad drawings themselves are just a temporary gimmick that will eventually fade away entirely?
Well, yes and no. The crude drawing style works fundamentally right now because it beautifully removes cognitive load, as we discussed.
Right.
But it is definitely a massive visual trend right now. And absolutely all trends eventually face massive saturation.
The niche is going to get incredibly overwhelmingly noisy.
Extremely fast. Once new creators see these astronomical numbers, literally everyone is going to try to copy the exact formula.
They'll copy the specific topic.
They'll copy the exact 2-second visual pacing. They might even try to perfectly copy the exact tone of the voiceover.
It just becomes a highly saturated sea of sameness all over again.
So to survive the inevitable massive saturation, creators absolutely must bring their own completely unique angle to the table.
Like what?
Maybe you purposefully use a highly dry, deeply sarcastic narrator. Maybe you focus strictly on obscure, terrifying horror stories.
Or maybe you boldly introduce a really weird, highly recurring stick figure character.
You have to genuinely add a human soul to the machine.
What happens to this format when 1,000 other channels copy it tomorrow?
The format stops being special, so only the channels with genuinely great storytelling survive.
The system gets copied, but your unique personality cannot be cloned.
That is the ultimate untouchable moat for any creator, your personality.
If we pull back and look at the big picture here, let's recap the core idea we've been intensely unpacking today.
Right. This automation blueprint isn't really just about making funny stick figures quickly. It represents a massive fundamental paradigm shift in solo content production.
It smartly uses AI to completely handle the messy, highly mechanical syncing of visuals.
And by doing that, it essentially forces the creator to focus solely on what actually matters.
Holding human attention through deep, highly engaging storytelling.
Exactly. It completely removes all the technical excuses.
You know, looking at all of this, it leaves me with a rather profound thought to mull over.
Yeah.
If AI can now flawlessly map, quickly render, and perfectly assemble our stories for us, perhaps the most valuable skill left for us isn't technical production at all. Perhaps the only true skill left is simply having something deeply human and genuinely interesting to say.
The tools are just the underlying engine. You still have to actually drive the car.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Now, I deeply want you to look at your own workflow. Think closely about your day-to-day tasks.
Yeah.
Which tedious, highly mechanical part of your job could you thoroughly map out and automate today?
What can you simply hand over to the machine?
So you can get right back to creative storytelling. Sometimes the absolute most advanced technology just frees us up to draw stick figures around a warm fire again.